Welcome to Hacemos con Gusto by the Central Florida chapter. We're here to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month with a 4-part miniseries where we celebrate the beautiful diversity and common culture pillars within the Latinx community. Human connection within our culture starts and ends in the kitchen. It's about family, tradition, and community. Let's go. Welcome to Hacemos con Gusto, Part 1. Today we're here with Cici Gomez. What are we making here today, Cici?
So I'm starting with the Dominican chicken stew. To start this recipe, I'm gonna use, and this time I'm using double the recipe so we can all eat after this. I'm gonna do 6 pounds of chicken. I have cilantro, 4 leaves of culantro or recao, a whole onion. So it depends, if you're doing 6 pounds, I recommend a big one. Purple onion is the best one for this recipe. It gives a different taste, and that's what Dominicans actually use. The more natural products that you use for this, the better. We also have green peppers or ají dulce. We have 2 big tablespoons of grounded garlic. Mm-hmm. We have 1/4 of a cup of adobo. I did about like a 1/4 cup of oregano, 1 squeezed lime, and naranja agria. The naranja agria, if you can't find the natural naranja, you can actually buy the bottle. They sell them usually on the Hispanic supermarkets.
Awesome. Let's dive in.
Yeah. So first I'm going to show how to chop the onions. Many people usually traditionally chop it this way. For me, it's easier to chop it in the middle, and it gives me a better grip when I'm chopping it. And try to make slices that are not too thick.
I'm taking notes, Cici.
Good. This is the whole purpose, right? Like everybody learns and they can make it home.
There's something special about Latino food because it's important. The food part is obviously the number one piece, but also it's the people part around food within, our culture. Because I remember learning how to cook from my mom, and there's no measurements in a lot of my mom's recipes. You kind of just have to listen and watch her do it a couple times until you figure it out, and but it never tastes the same as mom's, right? They have some secret ingredient that they don't tell us about.
I think it's a love part. I always say it, like the love that you put on the food, and I like that you touch base on that. I really love cooking. I enjoy cooking, and I think cooking for me brings me back to home.
Yeah.
In Puerto Rico, at least, it's very traditional. Whenever we have parties, like we cook the food. We usually don't get catering. We do it ourselves, and we enjoy it. I enjoy cooking all the time. And I learned from my grandmother mostly, and some friends. And my mom also showed me some recipes. So I have done a lot of self-learning. So yeah, I love that part. All right, for this part now, we're gonna vamos a adobar el pollo. So I always like to start with the adobo, so that way I can see how it's looking. This part usually it's up to you. Like sometimes some people like it a little bit more seasoned, others don't. So I'm going to use 1/4 of a cup, and if I need more, I'll use more on the way. So I'll just put some on the top and start mixing it.
Yummy.
It's very important that you clean the chicken before you do this. I always like to check and clean and make sure that it looks nice, that it doesn't have feathers. So I wash it before doing it. I usually don't wash chicken, but for this recipe, it's important to do it.
And there's also specific recipes around specific, cultural holidays too. Like I know Nochebuena, we're having pernil and arroz con gandules. So there's like a cultural playbook on how the food integrates with our social and community, celebrations.
Now I'm gonna add the oregano to the chicken. This gives it like a real nice taste. I wanted to find the fresh oregano, but I didn't have luck finding it in the supermarket. So I used the one that they sell in the bottles.
Yep, that works.
So, but then, like I said, the more natural ingredients that you use, the much better that the recipe is gonna come out. After that, I'm gonna add the garlic. And you make sure that you mix it all really well. You're gonna see that it's gonna start taking a little bit of color. The nice color is gonna take it once we cook it, because I'm gonna use brown sugar to do the chicken once we fry it. Kind of like a fry, you know, kind of like in the caldero thing, so it's different. This here is the naranja agria. I had to use the bottle one because I couldn't find the actual naranja. So like if you use the actual naranja, it's much better than using the one in the bottle. And I'm also gonna add the lemon juice. I had the lemon juice here. Oh, it's here. Okay, I'm gonna add the lemon juice. Yeah, you won't blow it.
No, you're good.
And after I do all of that, then I'm gonna start adding the other ingredients. So depending on the amount of chicken that you're doing, is the amount of ingredients. I like to put a lot of pepper because I like green peppers a lot. So I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna do the onions. You try to separate it a little bit.
How beautiful is that? All the colors.
Yeah, I start sprinkling a lot of colors. Yeah. And once it starts marinating, you're gonna smell it.
If I could share with the audience what this room smells like right now, we need to develop that technology.
Exactly. Okay.
So I always have these. It's a running joke in my family that like the bowls that I cook with are like ginormous.
Yeah, but this one I needed one.
Yeah, I know. I rather have a lot of room because we like to throw a lot of stuff in there. There's no lack of seasoning or flavor in a lot of our Hispanic recipes.
And by the way, we want to thank Vanessa and Hector for letting us use the kitchen for this video series. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And then for lastly, I'm going to add the cilantro. So I usually like to cut it in little pieces. I don't like the little palito that it has. I don't like the taste.
The stem.
Yeah, I don't like the stem. Couldn't find the word. That's a Spanish brain.
Spanglish recipes.
Yeah.
Con amor. Oh my god, that's gonna be so delicious.
Okay, so once it's all added in, you're gonna leave it there. And now we have our chicken here. It's ready to be marinated, so you leave it there for 2 to 4 hours, and then we're gonna come back and do it a little later on.
Beautiful.
So now we're gonna prepare the Dominican chicken stew. The first step of it is use some oil. So you're gonna put oil on your, I preferably like to use a caldero. It's better to do it. And I'm doing a big one because I'm doing a lot of it. But if you do half of it, you don't have to put that much. And once the oil is a little bit more heated, we're gonna put, in this case, I will put 3 tablespoons of light brown sugar. But you can do less if you're doing less amount. And I'm gonna leave that there. And now we're gonna mix the sugar with the oil. And we're gonna let it caramelize a little bit with the oil. One thing that you have to look for is that you make sure that you don't burn the caramel with the oil. So once you see that starts getting color, you're going to start dropping chicken one by one. Okay, so now we grab the juice from the marinade that we just did earlier, and we keep dropping a little bit. And you let it stand for another 5 minutes, and another 5 minutes you stir it again and put more juice. And you're gonna do that about for 30 minutes, and then I will add all the vegetables and give it like 10 more minutes for them to cook, and that's when your chicken is gonna be ready. Okay, so now that the chicken is almost completely done, I'm gonna add the vegetables so that way they can cook and they can enhance the flavor of the chicken. This really makes a difference when you're making the Dominican chicken stew. So I'm gonna add all the vegetables and try to spread them around, and then I'm also gonna stir them. Alright, so our final product of the chicken stew is now here on display. You can see the vegetables have been cooked. I haven't done them fully cooked because I like them a little bit more raw. But this is the final product, so now we're ready to serve.